All right, this is Chris. I'm reporting in from the Fig Grove North on September 27th, 2025, and we are about to lose our fig season. We have basically today, Saturday, and tomorrow, Sunday, and then we're going to start getting some rain. Look at that big fig, that huge one. And there's three over there, and there's two right there. So this is Pisaludo Nero. I don't expect the smaller green figs to ripen, and I see three of those, but it's going to ripen its whole crop, with the exception of what's going on down here. This little sucker is going to ripen one, and there's two down there that probably won't ripen as well. So no head start, 15 gallons, favorable microclimate. This is the one that's kind of blown me away this year. Same condition for all of these. I didn't give anything a head start. This is Codidama gigantina, and we see drying on the tree, ripening, 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 ripening. A lot of figs ripening, several that won't as well. This is one that really needs a head start for us. But with that being said, if we can stretch out the season another 10 days or so, which is highly unlikely, I could ripen potentially half of the crop. So this is one, like most lates, that needs probably a 6-week head start in a greenhouse, a heated greenhouse, ideally, to set the figs. This is my red Lebanese Baca Valley. Strange this year, they're ripening percentage-wise about the same as my in-grounds. I see, probably 10% of the crop that has not ripened and is small and green. Look at those. That is what you call drying on the tree. The neck stays up straight and the stem stays up straight rather, and the neck just kind of bends over. This is my baby right here, my Borsot Negra Amata. So we're looking at some that are still coming on. Once again, another tree that really needs a head start. I've eaten some, and they've been fantastic, and they're just beautiful. But it's not going to ripen the whole crop. That's why the lates for us really are a novelty. That's a phrase my buddy Eric coined here a while ago about late figs in the Willamette Valley. If you're not using a greenhouse, it's a novelty. And you get some good figs and it tastes delicious. This is kind of interesting. This is my Israeli black in a 7-gallon. Okay, this was a tiny, tiny root ball start of the year. I overwintered this air layer in a 4x9-inch tray pot, and I am getting a couple that are coming on, which is pretty darn good for a tree that's so young. This is one that a pine cone snapped it off, so I started a late air layer. And there's my visibility window on my air layer pot, my 4x9-inch pot. No roots, so that's why you don't want to start air layers too late. I like to start them in June and July. This is interesting too. This is a Teramo that I'm growing to compare against Brown Sugar Crunch. And this was just, the root ball was probably the size of a baseball. And it was just a tiny, tiny, I think it was either an air layer or a root sucker. I'm not sure. My buddy Dan in Maryland sent that out. So what I'm seeing different so far between this and Brown Sugar Crunch is that when Brown Sugar Crunch gets like this, where it's really, really soft, usually the neck starts to dry. This variety so far hasn't been drying the neck the same way, but it's still way too early in the game to compare them. And I don't do that. You need to have a level playing field when you're trying to compare figs. Oh, I'm hoping Irene's Black Greek. We might run out of time. This is one little trick I do. I take leaves off that are right near the fig sometimes, and I cut them at about an inch, and then I wait, and this one was just cut. But as a few days go by, you can just take that piece right off. It's a little figgy trick. This is De La Roca. Very disappointing this year. Setting figs late, not setting very many. It's been a disappointment. This is Nifyak. Let's take a look at Nifyak. Had a really good fig off of this. I think there was one in there that had honey dripping. Let's see if I can figure out where it was. It's a good crop, though, good sized crop. And it's looking like it wants to ripen the majority of the crop. Look at them all in there. I don't see the one with, oh yeah, I do see the one with both sugar spots and honey right there. Kind of hard to see it. Sun is just coming up here. Let's see if we can get some sun on it. Not so much. But it's really setting a whole big crop. It looks like it wants to ripen. I'd say the whole crop except for maybe two. Ondata has been wonderful for me this year. This is a new fig that's going to jump up into my top 10 probably. So I see one on that branch over there I just passed, and three there, and I see three over there. One is coloring. So without a head start, it's not ripening the whole crop so far. You know, if we have a crazy October, maybe it would, but it's a late fig, and it really needs a head start here. This is Del San Juan Migran, and it's still ripening. Nice big figs. There's one that's dried on the tree. Look at this one. Right there. If I can get in there. There you go. That one's dried on the tree. That's kind of cool. And behind it, Borgia Soaked Grease. You know, once again, another late variety that is ripening part of the crop. That's great, but it's not the whole crop. This is my Calderona. It's got a few more it's trying to ripen. And it has some small ones that it won't ripen. A typical thing for Calderona. So you see the theme that's happening here. Most of the lates are giving me figs. They're just not giving me the whole crop. This is one that's an exception. This is La Bourgeois. You can see how they're drying on the tree. And all but one right there ripened. Same thing, all but one. All but one. So I'm seeing maybe around 8 that won't ripen on this. But it's ripened a ton of figs. This is an exception. This is Casa di Lazaro. A little spider on the neck of that nicely ripened one, if you can see it. Can't really see it that well. But there's 3 that won't ripen. There's 3 that won't ripen. And it's done a good job ripening figs. But late fig is not going to ripen them all. This is Borda Barrique. Ripening like a champ. Ripening like a champ. But still, some that aren't going to ripen. So you see the theme here. The theme is we can grow figs without a head start in a favorable microclimate, and we'll have pretty good success getting quite a few figs. We won't ripen the whole crop though. So this is where you have, if you have a greenhouse and you're giving them 6 weeks or so, maybe 8 weeks head start, and you use heat, so you set your figlets early, you could probably do ripen the whole crop in a pot. But without it, you're not going to get it. So these are truly novelty figs, and they're fun. And as I get closer and closer to being where I want to be with this hobby, I'll have fewer and fewer of the pots. I'm trying to get it down to 15 gallon pots. That's my goal. And I'll be selling off some trees to get to that goal and gifting some away. Last year I gifted some to St. Jude's, the proceeds for St. Jude's, and probably do that again this year. So stay tuned. This is what you can do. Still dying to have a really good Pisaludo Nero. They turn colors, they crack, and they take a long time to ripen. So definitely not a short season fig. But if you had a longer season, boy, it makes some really good figs. Ooh, this one's soft. I think I can get away with picking that one maybe tomorrow. I'm going to give it as much sun as possible. Okay, hope you enjoyed this. And if you're in the Willamette Valley, Zone 8B, this is what you're looking at, right? Unless you're willing to give things a head start. So don't be too enamored with late ripening varieties, because not only are they a lot of work, they truly are a novelty. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. If you think this video could help someone else out, please share it. Always appreciate a sub and a like, and onward we go.